Hello friends, let's get to know one of the inventors of the telephone, okay? Alexander Graham Bell. Born Edinburgh, United Kingdom, March 3, 1847. Die. Bainbridge, August 2, 1922. Alexander Melville Bell's parents, father, Eliza Grace Simons, mother. Sibling. Edward Charles Bell, Melville James Bell. Mabel Gardner Hubbard's wife. Child of Marion Hubbard Bell, Elsie Bell, Robert Bell, Edward Bell. Known inventor of telephone. In today's sophisticated era, the use of the telephone is absolutely necessary. Even now the phone can be taken anywhere. Just imagine what would happen if we lived a day without a phone. It must be hard. If you want to contact a friend, you can't. If you want to talk to a relative who lives far away, you have to go there first, which will definitely be hard to pay for. Do you know, friends? Who has been credited with inventing the telephone? This is Alexander Graham Bell. The following will be the author of the biography of Alexander Graham Bell. Let's see. Biography of Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell is a speech teacher for the deaf in Scotland. He is familiarly called Bell. Bell was born on March 3, 1847 in Edinburgh, Scotland. Bell is not a genius at school, but his family environment is very supportive of Bell in studying science. Bell's father, Alexander Melville Bell, was a psychologist and elocution, or more simply, was an expert in teaching deaf people to talk. Bell also learned about it from his father. This skill will later bring Bell to the woman he loves. In 1865, Alexander Graham Bell deepened his knowledge of sound. He also studied Hermann Ludwig von Helmholtz's experiments on the sound produced by magnets and forts. Bell's expertise in sounds led to him being asked to become a lecturer at Sarah Fuller, an institution that teaches deaf children to speak. In addition, Bell also accepts private students. Married and research. In addition to teaching, Alexander Graham Bell also conducts research on the telegraph, electric speaking and phonograph, where the funding for this research gets donors from his students' parents. One of the guardians who funded Bell was Gardner Hubbard. He has a deaf daughter named Mabel whom Bell has successfully taught. Later Mabel and Bell were married. In addition to teaching, Alexander Graham Bell also conducts research on the telegraph, electric speaking and phonograph, where the funding for this research gets donors from his students' parents. One of the guardians who funded Bell was Gardner Hubbard. He has a deaf daughter named Mabel whom Bell has successfully taught. Later Mabel and Bell were married. During his research, Alexander Graham Bell was assisted by his friend, Thomas Watson. Bell's dream was to create a special communication device that used the transmission of electric waves. Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson conducted this research starting on June 2, 1875 and successfully patented it 2 years later, namely March 7, 1876. In that research, they used a sound control device and a magnet used to transmit sound. So that the telephone and transmitter were created in the form of a LP that was mounted in front of the electromagnet. The historical point of the invention of the telephone was marked by its success in sending sound on March 10, 1876. This demonstration was carried out at the 100th anniversary exhibition of the City of Philadelphia Death of Alexander Graham Bell. Until now, his name is always remembered as the person who has contributed to finding a very important tool, namely the telephone. This discovery can be compared with the invention of the light bulb by Thomas Alva Edison, which is also spectacular. Alexander Graham Bell died as a United States citizen in 1922.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope it's useful.